So this might not be a surprise to some of you, but I'm not really an overstable disc kind of guy. Like the most overstable mid I have in my bag is a Buzz. I do have my Zone, and then I have like a Firebird or Felon type disc in my bag, but like that is it. So in my opinion, while the splice and the tilt like have their place in Discmania's lineup for some people, like this FD3 is probably the most that you would ever really need. And like I live in Kansas, and like I don't carry anything more overstable than this. This is the new Metal Flake one that we just got into the store. These are left over from the European Open fundraising run, and these feel really nice. Like I got a viewer let me borrow one of his old FD3s. This is one of the originals. It's Color Glow FD3, and it looks like they I mean they obviously retooled it because they're not manufactured by Innova anymore, but like it's almost like they wanted to make a new mold FD3 and they weren't trying to be like this, because it looks very different when you hold them next to each other. It feels almost like a Firebird type disc. So if you like that, then stick around, because this looks like a lot more overstable than the old FD3s. I do have a Sexton Firebird and Glow Firebird that we're going to compare them to, and they look very close to each other, honestly. Like if you hold them next to each other, like I wouldn't be surprised. Like you could almost mistake them both. It's a little bit deeper, like a Firebird, not like a shallow, like a Felon type disc, which I have those. I'm carrying them to those as well today. The Felon is a lot shallower and just a little bit more mellow on the edge. So because of that, it's kind of like a little bit faster of a release. So that's why I feel like a lot of people like Felons, because they're a little bit faster and easier to manipulate. Now these Metal Flake ones, they're not like board flat by any means whatsoever. They do have like a small gradual dome to them, but they're like very flat. And unlike the Mindbenders, who had that more gummy Metal Flake plastic, very similar to my Felon here, this one is stiffer. So it has a lot of grip to it, feels nice, and it might have like a little gumminess, but like nothing like the Mindbenders. The Mindbenders, I mean, a lot of you got Mindbenders, so you can comment below, but like I didn't think it was too gummy at all, but it definitely had some give to it, enough to give it a really good grip. But this one's a little bit stiffer. I like that in like overstable fairway drivers, having that stiff feel in your hand. For some reason, it just gives you more confidence in its overstability. And with forehands for me, my forehand sucks, let's be honest. But looking closer with the older FD3, you can tell that it's like, the old FD3 is almost like the wing kind of bends downwards. Like you can see it right next to each other. If you look at them pretty wide, it almost looks like the wing sits higher and more on the FD3 comes straight out, when the old FD3 kind of wants to curve down slightly, but it definitely feels deeper. So like a lot of people like that about the Firebirds. You have a lot of grip there. I would almost say that this might be like, it's very close to a Firebird in terms of depth. It might almost be a touch deeper, but that's just from holding them here. I haven't measured them. You can look them up on the PDGA, but even those are like hit or miss, to be honest, PDGA measurements. But by feel, which is like what you're going to be doing you're going to be holding it in your hand and feeling it. By feel, it feels a touch deeper than Firebirds. So take with that what you will. But let's get into the flight. So I definitely slipped on the last tee pad and tweaked my back a little bit. I think 30 is tough, man. Anyways, we got the flights of these. Now I will say, if you were a fan of the old FD3s, this is not it's not gonna be one of those, at least the one that I got. So a viewer gave me this one to borrow for the review. Thank you so much, you're amazing for letting me borrow this. But this is a Color Glow one. It's pretty new, he hardly threw it at all, and it's max weight. All these discs are max weight. I know sometimes I forget to mention the weights, but they're all max weight. And this one's the Color Glow one, and this one was definitely very straight and workable and overstable. Like, it's still overstable, but I would say it was more like an overstable Thunderbird type disc. So I can see a lot of people love this disc, and then if they get the new FD3, kind of being disappointed, because this is not that. This is not very workable at all. This is very much like a Firebird type disc. I think they just wanted to make a more overstable version. I wouldn't be surprised if Innovo was just like, we'll make you a disc, but we're not making you the Firebird because we want the Firebird. I can totally see that. And then Discmania, now that they're doing their stuff, just be like, we want it more beefy like a Firebird, and that's what this is. It doesn't have much glide at all. It's very, like, it's kind of slow, like compared to like a Felon, for example, or this one, but you could definitely tell on both the like turnover shots, like James on Instagram, you said throw turnover shots. I tried to put as much ante as I could and have the proper swing plane, but yeah, I mean, I struggle with anhizers like a lot of people do, I feel like. At least it makes me feel better saying that. But I had a nice breezy headwind, like maybe 10 mile per hour headwind, and I threw these on an ante, and this one just, it went pretty good, and then it just fought out pretty well. This thing like held almost the entire way. Like, it still fought out at the end and turned and faded out, but it just pretty much held the whole way. And then you can really see the difference between them with the Felon. The Felon was just really nice and went really far, but you can definitely see the Felon is a lot more mellow than the FD3. And then I would almost say it's in between my Sexton Firebird and my Glow Firebird, like right in between there. I would say the Firebird's at least my Glow one felt a little bit faster to me than the FD3, but the Sexton was a lot more workable. This is this year's 2022 Sexton Firebird, and it's a little bit more workable than this FD3, and it's very close to this like Hybrid X Gavin Rathbun Felon that I have. So yeah, this is just gonna be just a very consistent, overstable, slow fairway driver. The Glow Firebird was definitely more overstable than this, and the Hybrid, like, they were very close. The Hybrid X Felon and this one, like a Lucid X Felon, will definitely be more overstable than this. I will be interested to see like them come out with just the standard C line and see if that's a little bit straighter, because if you have like a touch straighter, almost like a Sexton Firebird, or maybe even a little less stable than that, then these would be amazing. And then you can have a Metal Flake one that's really overstable, and a like regular C line for just your normal stuff. So I'm gonna be honest, I love that Glow Firebird, like it's amazing, but I really only put it in my bag if it's like guaranteed 40 mile per hour winds. Like, I threw it in Austin for an NADGT last year, and that's about it. Even if I need a hyzer, like, I usually just go with a Sexton Firebird or Felon. Like, even this would probably be enough in like 45 mile per hour headwinds, because it's pretty close. Like, it's a little bit more workable than the Glow Firebird, but it's pretty close to that Glow Firebird, at least for me, from what I've thrown of it. I'd probably put it like a normal Champion Firebird, which is pretty beefy. Now, I haven't thrown the Splice or the Tilt. I am getting some tilts in for the store, but I have not thrown them, and they're definitely going to be more overstable than this. I think the Splice is going to be even more overstable than this, but to be honest, this is all you would really need, unless you're one of those people who really likes to throw those overstable stuff. Like, for me, this would be it. That would be all of it. But we do have these at apollodiscgolf.com if you're wanting to pick them up. These are, again, they're the European Open run of them. Nice Metal Flake, stiff, and overstable. But thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.